Look at this. I'm completely enveloped in fog. I know there are other people on the beach, but they are totally shrouded by this fog. The beach just completely disappeared. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video. I'm here at the Oregon coast, and more specifically I'm in a town called Gearhart, which is a few miles north of Seaside and just maybe about 15 minutes or so south of Astoria. It's, to my knowledge, it's not a town that I've ever stopped in, but my wife and I are staying here for a couple of nights just for a getaway while our youngest daughter is at summer camp. This is actually our last morning. In a couple hours, I have to get back to the hotel to pack up and check out. But I haven't done any photography at the beach yet, and so I thought I would come down here on the last day and see what I could find. This is an interesting beach. I have seen a ton of cars, a ton of trucks kind of ripping through here. There are tire tracks everywhere. It's not a beach that seems like it gets photographed a lot, and maybe there's a good reason for that. The very first photograph I took, just to send it to my wife, was a pack of condoms that I found on the beach. It does not inspire confidence that you're going to find beautiful shots here at the beach. My philosophy out here this morning is I'm trying to channel a YouTube photographer who I really like a lot, and it doesn't really get enough attention, and his name is Simon Booth. He is a very seasoned landscape photographer, and his videos are very quiet, and he has this way of finding and capturing the beauty in the overlooked places in nature. So that's what I'm out here trying to do. It's so blocked in with fog. I actually really have no idea what's beyond, the first 100 feet of coastline. But my goal out here today is really just to find 2 or 3, maybe 4 small scenes that I can capture. So what I'm looking at now, I'm not sure if this will show up in the screen, but I'll put it down here. There's a leaf that's sticking out of the sand. You can see there are footprints all around it, tire prints. It's pretty rough going, but it is kind of a nice contrast. The dark the dark feather sticking out of the sand. I'm just using my Z8 and my macro lens to try to get a shot. But these are the kinds of scenes that I'm looking for today. Just these small little moments in the midst of the fog and the mist. And then I noticed just a couple minutes ago that there are a bunch of pelicans right over on the coastline. And if they're still there by the time I'm done with this, I might go over and see if I can photograph them. I don't know. It doesn't seem likely with how active the trucks are. But I'm going to go ahead and spend a little bit more time trying to photograph this feather sticking out of the sand. And if one of these shots turned out, here it is. But if it's the pelicans, by the time I got over here, there are still some seagulls. No great shots. I did take one more photograph on the way. It's of another feather on the sand. It's kind of low-hanging fruit. There's something interesting over here. I'll let this track me. There's some waves in some little rivulets. I'm sure that's not the right word, but the tide is coming in pretty quickly, actually. That would have been good had I not been distracted by the pelicans. So I'm going to get my tripod out of here, my camera bag out of here before the tide comes in, because I'm actually very surprised at how quickly this is happening. And so I'm going to get a move on and keep walking down the beach. And that happened fast. I wonder if there is a minimalist long exposure shot to be had here, because the sand is very clean. So I'm going to get this set up and see if there's a shot here.
Put on my Maven magnetic ND filters to get down to a 6-second exposure, but the long exposure shots really didn't work out. I did take 2 other photographs, one of this person walking in the thick fog. If I'm honest, these weren't the types of shots I was hoping for on this trip, but it's what I had, and I gradually relaxed. My attitude had been man versus fog, but now I was just man in the fog and I could enjoy myself more. And then I did get a shot of some pelicans, opting for a square crop here.
It's time for me to head back to the hotel. I did get briefly lost on the beach. I didn't know where my exit was, and then I saw 2 trucks rip through. I'm like, okay, that's where I'm supposed to be. And so that's how I found my exit, my path that will lead me back to the hotel. I did get one other shot on the way out here. It's actually of the log that I was sitting on. I took it just as the sun was really starting to burn through the fog, and it was nice and soft. One of the interesting things about making anything and then sharing it with the world, especially in the world that we live in, is that you end up practicing in public. I don't think this is a new phenomenon. I think that when people learned to paint hundreds of years ago, they were among peers, they were working with the master, and so they were getting constant feedback from their teachers, from their colleagues. They were painting something and making it and sharing it. And so I think there's always been an element of practicing in public. I do think that is amplified with social media. I think there are a lot of benefits that come with practicing in public. There's the accountability. People are expecting this of you, and so there's a good pressure to keep going, to keep making, to keep sharing. Practicing in public normalizes imperfection. There is a period of time in which anybody who was good at something sucked at something. And there, a few years ago, I guess it was 7 or 8 years ago, my oldest daughter was in a phase where she didn't want to do anything that she wasn't already good at. And so I told my wife, I said, hey, I have this plan. I'm going to take on a new hobby so that Molly can see me suck at something and keep going. And the hobby I chose was woodworking. And so for a couple of years, 2-3 years, I did a lot of woodworking. Went out and bought one of those little foldable work tables. I got a few tools. And I just started making things. I made boxes and pencil cups, and I carved spoons, and I was terrible at it for a long time, and I never got really great. But Molly saw that I was pushing through that sucking time in order to get better and better and better. Molly now is somebody who has a lot of confidence and puts herself into situations where she may not know what to expect. I mean, she just got back from a year-long exchange in Denmark as a junior in high school. And I 100% credit the fact that I learned how to carve spoons for her courage. Another benefit of practicing in public is that you're going to find your community. I share these videos on YouTube. I'm sharing more photos on Instagram because I want to connect with other photographers and makers, writers, and in particular, I want to connect with people who have a similar heart behind their creating. Photography helped me fall in love with the world. I know it sounds wild, but it helped me see the world and helped me fall in love with this beautiful, broken world. And I like writing and making things and taking photographs, and that helps capture this world and then share it with others and hopefully help them fall in love with it a little bit more as well. And I want to use YouTube to find that community. I want to use Instagram to deepen my relationship with that community. One bit of advice, and that is to find a champion. I was walking along, heading back toward the hotel, and I got a text from Kate, who's kind of waiting for me back at the hotel. And this is awesome. She says, first she says she's going downstairs to get breakfast and that we'll get coffee when I get back. And then she says this, she says, I hope you're having a good time. You're wonderful. Just be you in the place where you are. Don't worry about being Thomas Heaton. If you know, you know. Don't worry about being Simon Booth or anyone else. Be you. And know I love you and I'm your biggest fan. Practicing in public is hard. So find your champion. Find your Kate. And just be you. Be where you are. Keep practicing. Keep sharing. If we're connected either on YouTube or on Instagram, I hope that I have been an encouraging presence for you. Just keep going. Thank you for watching this video for what it turned out to be. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I will share one last time the pictures I took today, as well as a couple pictures I took at our hotel, which is right next to a golf course. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.